Hello friends, my name is Tanmay. Today our topic is voting system and elections. To boot a computer is to load an operating system into the computer's main memory or RAM. Once the OS is loaded, it's ready for users to run applications. In a democracy, each person has equal rights to fight for development. After the independence, India has adopted democracy, where the people vote those who are above 18 years of age. But these votes do not vary by any caste. People from every caste have equal rights to select their government. The mechanism by which people can choose their representatives at regular intervals and change them whenever they want to is called an election. In an election, the voters make many choices. They can choose who will make laws of them. The Election Commissions of India is constitutional body established by the Constitutions of India, empowered to conduct free and fair elections in India. The Election Commissions is headed by a Chief Elections Commissioner and consists of two other election commissioners. The day when India freed herself from the shackles to British rule, she gained her independence as a democratic country and set a new platform where everyone has the right to give her political opinion. This is the definition of democracy, where a leader is chosen after conducting a poll. The voters will put their choices in the ballot boxes from the available options. The candidate who has got the highest votes will be chosen as the leader. This is called an election. An election is considered the prime pillar of democracy, not only for the country, but the election can also be conducted in any case where public opinion matters the most. An election is also defined as a decision-making process within a group of people sharing similar interests. For example, if you are a member of a club and you want to fill the vacant positions of the chairman, choose the most suitable members and let the others cast their votes. On counting the highest vote, winner will be chosen as the chairperson. This is how a democratic government works. In a democratic country, every person has the right to showcase his political views. This is called suffrage. It is the prime element of the election. Going a step ahead, we need to find out who can cast their votes. People of all ages will not be able to comment the importance of voting and choosing a leader. For this, one needs to be mature enough to understand the situations of a country. This is why the country's voting authority has set the minimum voting age to 18 years. In India, people entering their adulthood at the age of 18 can cast their votes. The second phase is to choose the candidates who can compete in voting sessions and do campaigns. The electorate authority has set a list of guidelines that a candidate has to follow to register his names as a nominee. It happens in the public office where the candidate will have to file the nomination. Furthermore, testimonials and endorsements are provided in support of the candidates who have filed their nominations. The Election Commission sets the platform where the voting session will be carried in different states. As per the constitutional arrangements, a voting platform is set where eligible people will cast their votes. Based on the result, political decisions will be taken. Once all the votes are cast, ballot boxes are opened and all votes are counted. The digital ballot panels can also count votes automatically. The counting results will then be tallied. The number of votes each candidate has secured will be counted and compared to find the winner. The electoral body will make decisions regarding scheduling and conducting votes. Elections are conducted regularly in every democratic country. The nominates can campaign in their respective areas to gather more tractions and win the elections. Individuals understand the candidates' propaganda and wisely choose the right one based on their experiences. Election gives us the power to choose the best leader in every sessions. If one is not performing up to the mark, he can be replaced in the next voting session. All we need is proper awareness of the public for making the right decisions. This is what democracy stands for. One has the power to replace an undesirable candidate with a suitable nominee in an upcoming voting sessions. Elections are conducted to allow the common to participate in making political decisions. Common men have many responsibilities in their personal and professional life. It is the election that helps them choose their leaders to run the country. First of all, suffrage plays a vital role in elections. Most importantly, it refers to the right to vote in elections. We need to determine who has the right to vote. Almost all countries restrict individuals under the age of majority from voting. The question of who can vote is certainly an important one. The electorate is unlikely to include the entire populations. The election also involves the nominations of candidates. This means to suggest someone formally for election. Nominations refers to the election of a candidate for public office. Moreover, endorsements or testimonials are public statements that support a candidate's nomination. A second essential feature of an election is the electoral system. Electoral systems refers to detailed constitutional arrangements as well as voting systems. Furthermore, detailed constitutional arrangements and voting systems transforms the vote into a political decisions as a first step in the election process. There is the tally of votes. While there are several systems of counting votes, the determinations of the results is based largely on the tally. Most voting systems can be classified as a proportional or majoritarian. Schedules refer to the arranging and controlling of election. Elected officials are responsible to the people. For that reason, they must return to the voters. Regularly elected officials must do this to remain in office. In addition to election, there is also an election campaigns. An election campaigns is an organized project intended to influence the opinion of a particular group. In consequence, politicians compete by trying to woo more and more people. In the first place, we can observe that elections are a peaceful and efficient method of choosing political leaders. Furthermore, individuals in a nation choose their leaders by casting votes. In this way, citizens can select someone whose views are most in line with their own. An elections is an excellent opportunity for people to voice their dissatisfactions. Most importantly, if people dislike a particular leadership, then they can remove it. People can replace an undesirable leadership with a better alternative through elections. In most democratic countries, common citizens are allowed to run for election in their own right. The election is a great opportunity for participations in politics. Therefore, a citizen could implement reforms that aren't part of a political party's agenda. In addition, in most democratic countries, a citizen can form a new political party to contest elections. Election is the process through which people can express their political opinion. They express this opinion by public voting to choose a political leader. Furthermore, this political leader would have authority and responsibility. Most noteworthy, election is a formal group decisions making the process. Also, the selected political leader would hold public office. The election is certainly a vital pillar of democracy. This is because election ensures that the government is of the people, by the people, and for of the people. First of all, suffrage is an important part of election. Most noteworthy suffrage refers to the right to vote in elections. The question of who may vote is certainly an important issue. The electorate probably never includes the entire populations. Almost all countries prohibit individuals under the age of majority from voting. For example, in India, the age of majority is attainable at the age of 18 years. The nominations of a candidate is also an important characteristic of election. This means to officially suggest someone for election. Nominations refers to the process of selecting a candidate for election to a public office. Furthermore, endorsements or testimonials are public statements to support a candidate's nominations. Another essential characteristics of election is electoral systems. Electoral systems refers to detailed constitutional arrangements and voting systems. Furthermore, detailed constitutional arrangements and voting systems convert the vote into a political decisions. The first step in the tally of votes. For this purpose, there is the use of various vote counting systems and ballot. Then comes the determination of the people of the result on the basis of the tally. Also, the categorizations of most systems is either proportional or majority. Scheduling refers to arranging and controlling of elections. Elected officials are accountable to the people. Therefore, they must return to the voters at regular intervals of time. Elected officials must do that so as to seek a mandate to continue in office. Above all, most countries arrange elections at fixed, regular intervals. An election campaign is also an integral part of elections. Election campaign refers to an organized effort to positively influence the decisions making of a particular group. Consequently, politicians compete with each other by trying to woo more and more individuals. First of all, the election is a peaceful and efficient way of choosing political leaders. Furthermore, citizens of a nation choose a leader by casting their votes. In this way, the citizens are able to choose an individual whose views appeal to them most. Hence, people are able to exercise their will in political leadership. An election is an excellent opportunity for people to express their resentment. Most noteworthy if people are unhappy with a particular leadership, then they can remove it from power. People can certainly replace an and desires leadership with a better alternative through elections. The election is a handsome opportunity for political participations. Furthermore, it is a way by which new issues can be raised in public. In most democratic countries, common citizens are allowed to contest elections independently. Consequently, citizens could introduce reforms which are not any political party's agenda. Also, in most democratic countries, a citizen who could form a new political party to contest election. Election helps keep the power of political leaders in check. The ruling parties cannot afford to do any wrongdoing to the public due to risk of losing election. Hence, election serves as an efficient power check and control for those in the ruling power. To sum it up, election is the symbol of political freedom. Most noteworthy, it is the tool which puts authority in the hands of common people. Democracy certainly would be non-functional without it. People must realize the value of elections and come out in large numbers to vote. These details consequently constitutional arrangements and voting systems convert the vote into a political decisions. Election certainly help keep the power of the political leaders in check. This is because the political leaders cannot afford to do any wrongdoing to the public due to the risk of losing elections. In the whole world, India is the second largest democratic nation. India has numerous elections that are conducted every year. The election starts from state elections to the district elections, even extends to the panchayat elections. The central elections serve to elect the Prime Minister of India, which is being conducted every 5 years in the country. All these elections are being conducted by the election commissions of India that was established in the year 1915. The election commissions of India is a constitutional body, and the head of the commission is called the Chief Elections Commissioner. The election commission is the agency of the Indian government responsible for conducting free and fair elections in the country. It is a very unique agency in its mandate, powers and functions. It is one of the few agencies in the country that is wholly independent, and its only constitutional duty is to conduct elections in a fair and impartial manner. India is one of the largest democratic nations in the world. Democracy here plays an impact role in this country. Its election season once again. The news is full of speculations, analysis and opinion can opinion on the outcome of the elections. The elections fever has gripped the nation, but did you know that the elections commissions of India, the constitutional body that oversees the conduct of elections, is a body that has a lot of aesthetics appeals to. The Elections Commissions of India is a human judge body with a lot of responsibilities on its shoulders. The Election Commissions of India was formed in the year 1950. For the Election Commissions of India, one of the most essential tasks is to guarantee that elections are held in a fair and transparent way. The way to do this is by ensuring that the elections are conducted with the greatest precision and fairness possible. Another way to do this is by keeping the polling places as clean and attractive as possible. This ensures that voters are able to come in and vote in the most conducive setting. This body, the Election Commissions of India, made things quite easier for us. Ever since the body came into existence, the body looks after a lot many tasks which further help in the smooth functioning of the procedure in the electoral commission. While still now the body is continuously evolving to make the election scenario better. India is the world's largest democracy. It is a country with many different cultures and languages, as well as diversified populations. In India, elections are held in a democratic manner to ensure that the people's will is carried out. The Election Commissions of India, sometimes known as the ECI, is the authority in charge of elections in India. In the realm of elections in India, the elections for the Commissions of India is the supreme authority. The commissions is charged with conducting free and fair elections, safeguarding the electoral process and ensuring that votes are accurately counted. From voter registration to vote counting, the commissions regulates the elections process to guarantee that elections are conducted in a fair, transparent and accountable way. The Commission is also in charge of drafting and implementing India's electoral rules. The Election Commissions of India is trying to bring about development in the elections scenario to help in making the procedure even easier and better. Firstly, the body introduced the electronic voting machine in the year 2004 during the Lok Sabha elections. This initiative has decreased manual labor to a significant extent. The system further introduced the system of voter ID in the year 1993. This also helped the electoral process in many ways. Firstly, the voter ID made the distinctions quite clear of people who are eligible to vote and those who cannot. The voter ID serves as an identify proof in the government documents that is up the process. The IDs have also helped in forming a model of conduct which will ensure fair elections. This also monitors the parties who must follow the code of conduct and its rules which are laid down in the principles. Another important fact, the Election Commissions of India gave the people the option of Nota in 2014. The abbreviated form of Nota is none of the above. Nota helps the individuals to cast their vote in a worthwhile manner and not giving it to someone out of more obligations. Moreover, there is also represents the conditions of the political parties in India. Even after the changes and the developments in the elections commissions of India which has brought in our country, the commission still faces quite a lot of criticism for its various moves. One of the major problems it faces is the issue of EVM. As per claim, these machines are never 100% accurate and thus may be tampered with it. Thus, people may not consider the results of the EVM to be genuine of authentic. Furthermore, there cropped a big issue of many voters' names being left out of the voters list. Many people often do not find their names on this list and hence they are barred from participating in the electoral process. This creates a great fuss amongst the citizens of India. The model of code of conduct by the Elections Commission of India was also being criticized. This is known to us that during the campaigning many parties portray hatred to their opposition parties and thus deliver hate speeches. This model code of conduct also monitors this particularly. However, it is said that they were partial in publishing these parties while turning a blind eye to the other parties which they favor the most. The Elections Commissions of India is identified as an autonomous and independent body that is under the Constitution of India that was established in the year 1950. The roles and responsibilities of the Elections Commission of India are to conduct free and fair elections in the country and this is to implement the values of democracy and secularism in the society. The Election Commissions of India is the apex body in charge of elections administration in India. The Election Commissions of India is a constitutional organization formed under the India Constitution with the authority to oversee the conduct of elections and referendums in the country. The commission is led by a chairman who is appointed by the president for a 5-year term. Subject to Lok Sabha confirmations, the other members of the commissions are appointed by the president on the prime minister's advice for a 7-year term, subject to Lok Sabha confirmations. There are quite a lot of milestones that the Election Commissions of India has brought about in these 70 years of existence in the country. Some of these notable achievements of the ECI happen to be the introductions of the electronic voting machine in the year 2004 in the Lok Sabha election. Another great achievement by the ECI is the introductions of voter ID cards for the people of the country. The introductions of Nota in the year 2014 is another example of how well ECI works on its own. The robots and bold implementations of the model code of conduct during the elections of 2009 was another great milestone to know. The Election Commissions of India has contributed significantly to make India a democratic nation. The people, with the help of this body, elects the members who on behalf of the people are ruling the country. This body has created great independence in the procedure of election. An electoral systems or voting system is a set of rules that determine how elections and referendums are conducted and how their results are determined. Electoral systems are used in politics to elect governments, while non-political electorals may take place in business, non-profit organizations and informal organizations. These rules govern all aspects of the voting process. When elections assure who is allowed to vote, who can stand as a candidate, how ballots are marked and cast, how the ballots are counted, how votes translate into the election outcome, limits on campaign spending and other factors that can affect the results. Political electoral systems are defined by constitutions, and electoral laws are typically conducted by elections commissions and can use a multiple type of elections for different offices. Some electoral systems elect a single winner to unique position, such as Prime Minister, President or Governor. while others elect multiple winners, such as the members of parliaments or boards or of directors. When electing a legislator, areas may be divided into constituency with one or more representatives, or the electorate may elect representatives as a single unit. Voters may vote directly for an individual candidate or for a list of candidates put forward by a political party or alliances. There are many variations in electoral systems. The most common being party list proportional representations first past the post voting plurality block voting, the two-round system, and ranked voting, mixed systems, and some other electoral systems attempt to combine the benefits of non-proportional and proportional systems. The study of formally defined electoral methods is called social choice theory or voting theory, and this study can take place within the field of political science, economics, or mathematics, and specifically within the subfields of game theory and mechanisms design. Impossibilities proofs such as Arrow's impossibility theorem demonstrate that when voters have three or more alternatives, no preferential voting system can guarantee the race between two candidates remains unaffected when an irrelevant candidate participates or drops out of the election. Plurality voting is a system in which the candidate with the highest number of votes wins, with no requirement to get a majority of votes. In cases where there is a single position to be filled, it is known as first past the post. This is the second most common electoral system for national legislatures, with 58 countries using it for this purpose. The vast majority of which are current or former British or American colonies or territories. It is also the second most common system used for presidential elections, being used in 19 countries. In cases where there are multiple positions to be filled, most commonly in cases of multi-member constituencies, there are several types of plurality electoral systems. Under block voting, voters have as many votes as there are seats and can vote for any candidate, regardless of party, a system used in 8 countries. In limited voting, voters are given fewer votes, then there are seats to be filled. Gibraltar is the only territory where the system in use under single non-transferable voters can vote for only one candidate, with the candidates receiving the most votes declared the winners. This system is used in Kuwait, the Pitcairn Islands, and Vanuatu. In party voting, voters can only vote for the list of candidates of a single party, with the party receiving the most votes winning all seats. This is used in five countries as part of mixed systems. The Borda count is a rank voting system intended to elect broadly acceptable options or candidates rather than those preferred by a majority. Under the border count, lower ranking are given lower weighting. This system is used to elect the ethical minority representative seats in the Slovenian parliament. The Dodal system, a multi-member constituencies variation on the border count, is used in Nauru for parliamentary and elections, and sees voters rank the candidates. First preference votes are counted as whole numbers. The second preference votes are divided by 2. Third preference by 3. This continues to the lowest possible ranking. The totals for each candidate determines the winners. Majority voting is a system in which candidates must receive a majority of votes to be elected, either in a runoff elections or final round of voting. There are two main forms of majoritarian systems. One conducted in a single round of voting using the ranked voting, and the other using multiple elections to successively narrow the field of candidates. Both are primarily used for single member constituencies. Majoritarian voting can be achieved in a single election using instant runoff voting, whereby voters rank candidates in order of preference. This system is used for parliamentary elections in Australia and Papua New Guinea. If no candidate receives a majority of the vote in the first round, the second preferences of the lowest ranked candidate are then added to the totals. This is repeated until a candidate achieves over 50% of the number of valid votes. If not all voters use all their preferences votes, then the count may continue until two candidates remain, at which point the winner is the one with the most votes. A modified form of IRV is the contingent vote, where votes do not rank all candidates but have a limited number of preferences vote. If no candidates has a majority in the first round, all all candidates are excluded except the top two with the highest remaining preferences votes from the votes for the excluded and candidates then added to the totals to determine the winner. This system is used in Sri Lankan presidential elections with voters allowed to give three preferences. The other form of majoritarian system is the round two round systems, which is the most common system used for presidential elections around the world, being used in 88 countries. It is also used in 20 countries for electing the legislature. If no candidate achieves a majority of votes in the first round of voting, a second round is held to determine the winner. In most cases, the second round is limited to the top two candidates from the first round. Although in some elections more than two candidates may choose to contest the second round, in these cases the second round is decided by plurality voting. Some countries use a modified form of the two-round system, such as Ecuador, where a candidate in the presidential election is declared the winner if they receive 40% of the vote and are 10% ahead of their nearest rival. Or Argentina, where the system is known as ballotage. In some cases, a runoff may be held using a different system, as in contingent elections where no candidate wins a majority of the United States Electoral College. An executive ballot is not limited to two rounds but sees the last placed candidate eliminated in each round of voting. Due to the potentially large number of rounds, this system is not used in any major popular elections, but is used to elect the speakers of parliament in several countries and members of the Swiss Federal Council. In some formats, there may be multiple rounds held without any candidates being eliminated until a candidate achieves a majority. Proportional representation is the most widely used electoral system for national legislatures with parliaments of over 80 countries elected by various forms of the system. Party list proportional representation is the single most common electoral system and is used by 80 countries and involves voters voting for a list of candidates proposed by a party. In a closed list systems, voters do not have any influence over the candidates put forward by the party. But in open list systems, voters are able to both vote for the party list and influence the voter order in which candidates will be assigned seats. In some countries, notably Israel and the Netherlands, elections are carried out using pure proportional representation with the votes tallied on the national level before assigning seats to parties. However, in most cases, several multi-member constituencies are used rather than a single nationwide consistency, giving an element of geographical representation, but this can result in the distributions of seats not reflecting the national vote totals. As a result, some countries have living seats to award to parties whose seat totals are lower than their proportions of the national vote. In addition to the electoral threshold, there are several different ways to allocate seats in a proportional systems. There are two main types of systems: highest average and largest remainder. Highest average systems involve dividing the votes received by each party by a series of divergers, producing figures that determine seat allocations. For example, the D100 method and the Webster-Santi-Leg method. Under largest remainder systems, parties' voter shares are divided by the quota. This usually leaves some seats unallocated, which are awarded to parties based on the largest fractions of seats that they have remaining. Examples of largest remainder systems include the Hare quota, Drew quota, the Emberley quota, and the Hagen-Bischoff quota. Single transferable vote is another form of proportional representation. Is in STV, voters rank candidates in a multi-member constituency rather than voting for a party list. It is used in Malta and the Republic of Ireland. To be elected, candidates must pass a quota. Candidates are that pass the quota are elected. It necessary to fill seats. Votes are reallocated from the least successful candidates, as well as surplus votes from successful candidates, until all seats are filled by candidates who have passed the quota, or until there are only as many remaining candidates as the number of remaining seats. In several countries, mixed systems are used to elect the legislature. These include parallel voting and mixed member proportional representation. In a non-competitively parallel voting systems, which are used in 20 countries, members of a legislature are elected by two different methods. Part of the memberships is elected by a plurality of majority vote in single member constituencies, and the other part by proportional representation. The result of the consistencies vote for no effect on the outcome of the proportional vote. In competently mixed membership system, the result of the proportional vote are adjusted to balance the seats won in the consistency vote. The mixed member proportional systems in use in 8 countries provide enough competently seats to ensure that parties have a number of seats approximately proportional to their vote share. Other systems may be influenced competently, and these may result in overhang seats, where parties win more seats in the constituency system than they would be until to based on their vote share. Variations of these include the additional member system and alternative vote plus, in which voters cast votes for both single member constituencies and multi-member constituencies. The allocations of seats in the multi-member constituencies is adjusted to achieved on overall seat allocation proportional to parties' vote share by taking into account the number of seats won by parties in the single member constituencies. Mixed single vote systems are also compensable, however they usually use a vote transfer mechanisms unlike the seat linkage method of MFP, and may or may not be able to achieve proportional representation. An unusual form of mixed member compensatory representation using negative vote transfer Scorporo was used in Italy from 1993 until 2006. Some electoral systems features a majority bonus system to either ensure one party or coalition gains a majority in the legislature, or to give the party receiving the most votes a clear advantage in terms of the numbers of seats. San Marino has a modified two-round systems, which sees a second round of voting featuring the top two parties or coalitions if there is no majority in the first round. The winner of the second round is guaranteed 35 seats in the 66 Grand and General Council. In Greece, party receiving the most votes was given an additional 50 seats, a system which was abolished following the 2019 elections. In Uruguay, the president and members of the General Assembly are elected by on a single ballot known as the double simultaneous vote. Voters cast a single vote, voting for the presidential, senatorial, and chamber of deputies candidates of that party. This system was also previously used in Bolivia and the Dominican Republic. Okay, thank you.